What's up, world? This is We Need a Fifth. This your man Mo. Got my man Hill in the building.
Turning to the old fogey now.
Got my man P on the line.
What up?
Fellas, we started talking about it a little bit last week, but want to really get into it, really chop it up now. FIBA World Cup is Basketball World Cup has finally started. Um, what are y'all initial thoughts on Team USA's current roster for the World Cup? And just so that we're all clear about who's on this team, I'm going to read out the roster. Roster is Paolo Banchero from the Orlando Magic, Mikal Bridges from the Brooklyn Nets, Jalen Brunson from the New York Knicks, Anthony Edwards from the Minnesota Timberwolves, Tyrese Halliburton from Indiana Pacers, Josh Hart from the New York Knicks, Brandon Ingram from the New Orleans Pelicans, Jaren Jackson Jr. from the Memphis Grizzlies, Cam Johnson from Brooklyn Nets, Walker Kessler from the Utah Jazz. That was a good one. Bobby Portis from the Milwaukee Bucks. And last but not least, Austin Reeves from the LA Lakers.
Well, I'll set it off. If this is the Olympic team, this is the least talented Olympic team I've seen since 1992. Since USA has started sending pros over, this is the least talented team that I've seen.
Ooh, wow.
I don't think it's controversial saying that.
Can I get a gunshot? Shots fired? Is that shots fired?
No, not really, because that's a fact. I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's a fact. I won't debate that.
And Hill, what are your feelings about this current team, this current roster?
So far 1-0, and when it comes to talent wise, P is spot on. But I mean, we saw, like I said before, we saw a juggernaut of talent before and what they did, and that was win in '92 and get smoked in '04. So it could go either way. It depends on what we have. I like the accumulation of talent that we have here to just achieve what the base thing is just to get the gold medal. And I wouldn't be disappointed if this team went on. I actually have a few people in here which I tout very highly personally. You know what I'm saying? We'll go back and forth, but I'm watching the games. Anthony Edwards is just a complete mismatch for the international game.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So he is perfect. And Paolo fits into where like that of a Karl Malone with skill down on the block. So it's like inside and out. And from a defensive standpoint, they're wiry. 6'8", 6'9"-ish. Two-way plays with skill. And I enjoy watching this team from a basketball perspective. Not of a star-studded team. You're not going to get that with this. If that's going to be a turnoff, I totally get it. You know what I'm saying? No one person stands out, but to me, this is good basketball to me. And like I said, I could be getting up in my years right now to the fringe of where I'm more so less highlights and more to the point. And so I think they will achieve the ultimate goal because I think this is a well-constructed squad. And Brunson is just taking steps and steps further to why he's just like that calming nature for a team, and why I think that, just getting off point, why Dallas is just going to be in disarray now for good. And I don't care who's going to lead. I think he's just that. And for this team, it just plays out. It's an enjoyable watch for me.
And see, I find myself in a strange position because I think me and you have kind of switched places on where we would be on this team traditionally.
Right.
I think that what appeals to you is, hey, their scrappy nature, the fact that, hey, the sum of the parts is greater than any individual player,
Right.
and that they seem to found their chemistry and find ways to be successful. And I think normally that's what I would enjoy about a team.
Mhm.
And for me, I'm on the other side of it where I'm like, wow, that's nice, but it doesn't really look as pretty or as
It's the aesthetics. You don't have a
yeah,
Kevin Durant,
yeah,
you don't
yeah,
have a
yeah,
LeBron James.
as I would want it to look, you know. Or I don't feel that they have a player on this squad that can close out a game that you could say, you know what, it's the fourth quarter, it's a close game, 5 minutes left. Hey, take us home. I don't think that this squad has it, and maybe they do have it because,
Mm.
to your point, Anthony Edwards, I think he's coming into his talent. He's starting to meet those expectations. We saw that last year with his performance with the Minnesota Timberwolves and what he was trying to do in the playoffs and his play in particular. Um, and this international play can be a coming out party for him as far as him taking his game to the next level. So I maybe he becomes that player for them. And Brandon Ingram has always had a get a bucket mentality. So maybe he's another one that could be that. It just there's no player that I feel like can say, you know what, I can get a bucket and there's nobody in the world that can stop me.
I
You
mean,
know,
we argued about this, and I guess it would be redundant to us, but not to the masses.
mhm.
You had what, 6 players or more on a 2014 who you quote unquote could get you a bucket? Granted, they were young as rookies, but you had Duncan, you had Iverson. I mean, that get a bucket stuff. I don't think they go into these games thinking about last minute. If they're going to a need in a last minute bucket, then they're in bad shape already.
Yeah, to your point, that 2014, you wouldn't think they would need that. Like you don't
Right.
think you say I have LeBron, Wade, Melo, Tim Duncan, Allen Iverson. There won't be no I need a bucket down there because these games aren't supposed to be close.
Then that leads me into my next question. Then, can we take this team that's going to be participating in the World Cup to the Olympics? Is this the team that you want to take? And I'll start off with Hill first.
I think those are the fears that will leak in, and I think they'll skew towards you guys, and it'll just be a fusion. The best players. This is probably much a scrimmage for these guys to make that team, which you guys are looking forward to. I would hope they would take this team, actually, win or lose. Just give this team this run, and with practicing and playing it, they'll have cohesion with this squad, and I think they'll be fine. This is a very good team to me.
Yeah,
it's not star-studded.
All right, let me press you a little bit, Hill. I know you say this is a really good team, and you would want to stand pat and let this team, take its chances in the Olympics.
Right.
But you're the GM now. You're in charge of the Olympic roster, and I'm telling you that, hey, you do have to make some changes. Who on this team are you keeping?
Who on this team that I'm keeping?
Yeah, like, hey, I tell you, you know what? We got 12 slots. You got to give up 6 of them. So hey, 6 people can stay, but I'm bringing in 6 new people. Who are you keeping from this team?
I mean, you could put your hand in the bag and take any one of these 12 more to be fair, and swap them out with a whole bunch of other 6 if you're going to do that. I'm on the premise of saying I want this team to stick with them, and I would let them go on and play as a cohesive unit. But who would stay and who would go? 12 of these players are disposable.
Yeah, I think this is just a tryout, right? Like I think depending on if they win the gold or not, they'll take it from there. Like anything less than a gold, there'll be wholesale changes. But if they win the gold, I don't think they look at each individual player's performance, and they'll see, and of course, um, who out of the place aren't here, who commits. That obviously that's going to make a big difference on if Steph Curry, Dame, Booker, Tatum, guys like that decide to play in the Olympics, some of these guys won't be back.
Let's just put everything on the table. Let's just say everyone committed that they want to play. The best player on this team is going to be who? Ingram or Anthony Edwards?
Yeah, I think those are the only two that will probably have a chance, and they might not make it.
Maybe. Put it that way, maybe. You can go through without taking a single soul off this team.
Yeah, again, I'm going off of talent. If I had a top 12, none of these guys would be on it.
Right.
So for you, Pete, you wouldn't take this team to the Olympics. I just want to put it on the record.
Oh, absolutely not.
Nobody on the roster would be able to make the team.
No, like I said, there's guys who would be able to make it, but it depends on who commits. You know what I mean? Like if there might be 10 players out there that commit, and then there's 2 out of this team I would keep. So it really depends on who commits. But if everyone would be available that's in the NBA, no one here would make it.
Let me ask a different question. Maybe this will get me to what. For you, Hill, who's been most impressive on this team so far? I know it's just been the one game versus Puerto Rico, but from that game and what you've seen and heard, hey, who has impressed you the most?
Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, definitely Anthony Edwards, Halliburton. The team. I've enjoyed the team. I mean, AR had like a quick 12 minutes. He threw a quick 6-7 buckets. I mean, so it would be this team. I would love the continuity they would have together, but I can get it. The international game, we saw it. They could get wrecked by one player. You know what I mean? Like it can. A Giannis could go crazy. You know what I mean? A Wemby could go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? A Joker. I mean, and having players play around them, you just need one person to actually wreck a game, and the outside players pretty much to fall in line because they've been so used to it and hitting outside shots in which the U.S. would lose. But I can see that with the NBA team of your best of that happening.
Yeah. Definitely.
So, I mean, we saw it.
Pete, the same question to you. Who's been the most impressive to you so far? I know it's only been one game. But...
I'm not impressed. Like I feel like really. I feel like they're doing what they should do.
Right.
Like no disrespect, but Puerto Rico is not exactly an international juggernaut. I expect them to win. This is like if they went to the Rucker and they all did well. Yeah, I'm not really impressed. It's just they're NBA. They're all good NBA players. So I can't sit here and tell you like I'm impressed by one individual. I'm not even impressed by the team. I feel like they're doing what they're supposed to do.
With and piggybacking off of Pete, Puerto Rico not being no juggernaut, but Puerto Rico did beat the U.S. in 2004.
Yeah, but that's a long time ago.
I'm just talking about things that just shouldn't happen. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And granted, I don't think there should be a blip on a U.S. squad. I mean, the fact that they had to get. I mean, being that they were adults, they got tired of I guess a 35 or 40-year-old player beating up on little kids in college. I always thought the premise of college players, should have been able to win internationally. Of course, I was wrong because these guys lived together and played together overseas, so they had that continuity. Mm-hmm. But these younger NBA players who are in the league who saw quite a bit, not college players, younger NBA players who they have assembled now, should be more than enough to win on the international level, and by considerable margins.
We'll see. I just agree because I don't see this team being, if they are better than Canada, I don't think they're that much better than Canada, talent wise.
Let me press you a little bit too. Do you think Hill is overestimating what he's seeing from this team from this one game with Puerto Rico?
Not exactly, because again, I keep saying, like, they have talent. This USA team is a talented team.
Okay.
I just think we have the US. When I say we, the USA has way more talent than this. This is like the C team, probably not even the B team, to be honest with you, as far as talent goes in my mind of current NBA players.
Ooh,
It sounds harsh,
okay.
but that's what I see.
Let them know how you really feel, B.
No, if I was picking an Olympic team, I wasn't picking any of these guys. Half these guys I wouldn't even thought about. I wouldn't even thought about Austin Reeves on an Olympic team.
Yeah.
Your man from Utah, really?
Yeah, as a big, yeah, I have no problem with that.
No, I would have called Anthony Davis. Like, there's no way I'm calling Kessler.
I mean, he's gonna go up against Kelly Olynyk for for Canada. So I don't find anything big of a challenge. Down low, he's just taller than Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah,
And
we'll see.
I mean, yeah, I mean, Canada has maybe 3 players that really stand out. Really stand out. I mean, so Shea Jamal and
wait.
Dwight Powell, for some odd reason, gives me a little, problem when it comes to this this U.S. team.
What about Wiggins, Hill? You don't
I don't
like
think he
him?
made the team.
Yeah, I don't think
Made
he's
the team.
active for this one. Yeah.
That have shifted the pendulum quite a bit, I think, if he was on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So
He's not. But Shea and Jamal is it should be competitive, but I just think we have a more from 1 through 12, I think we have more talent. I think they're top heavy up top, but I think it averages out that we have a better squad. I don't even like this US squad. I love the squad.
So Hill, I'm gonna clarify for the record. You like this? You love this squad,
Love the squad.
and you want to see this squad go to the Olympics,
Yes, absolutely.
win or lose in the
No,
World Cup.
absolutely. But I don't think
For
losing
me,
is going to be a problem.
for me, I'm not totally in love with this squad. I'm not totally sold on this squad. I believe that for anybody to be considered for the Olympics, this squad has to win the World Cup. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If they don't win, it's a crapshoot if anybody from this squad should be invited for the Olympic roster.
I don't think anyone will.
Pete, where you at?
Oh, I think I've been consistent about this whole thing. I don't like. It's the least talented I've ever seen in an Olympic basketball. I'm not with it. I'm not with it.
And on the ball, Mo, like from a two-way standpoint, with Ingram, with Reeves, with Mikal Bridges, like from a defensive standpoint, Brunt, like I don't know why you wouldn't like this squad. And then you're gonna bring on people like Dame Lillard, who's known for his defense. You know what I'm saying? Like Steph Curry, who's known for his defense. Well, I can't say Steph Curry because he's the ultimate, changer. But I'm saying like these, I mean, this is what you would want, I would think, from a two-way standpoint.
But I, and like I said, I would take some of them, especially if they win this World Cup. I would take some of these team members. I think in particular, I would take Jalen Brunson. I would take Ant. Possibly Jaren Jackson. I will also look at Halliburton and Bridges.
You're not going to make it. You shouldn't look at Halliburton. But here's what you're going to have with them. Those players, Mo. Mm-hmm. It's a thing called aura. And they're just out of the league to the people that you're going to assimilate them with. Like Christian didn't perform because he was way ahead of his talent who he was in college, but he just wasn't matched up with the skill level that he came to. And I think you'd have these players pretty much watching them, and you would see why they wouldn't belong with these players.
With the players that I named, I don't think you would have that issue. I think, hey, Jalen Brunson has shown that. As part of the reason I think Dallas had to make a choice. Him or Luka, who's going to be a leader.
Nah, I think they could have kept
sort of leadership.
They were just cheap. They could have kept both.
Yeah.
They could have kept both. That was a dumb move, to be honest.
That was a stupid move.
Hindsight 2020, but that was probably like one of the worst moves in Dallas Maverick history.
But I don't think he would have any problems not being in awe and being able to perform. Mikal Bridges, the same thing. Halliburton, the same thing. Jaren Jackson, the same thing. At least the players that I want to keep. I don't think Anthony Edwards the same thing. I don't think any of those 5 players would be in awe of a Dame Lillard or a Steph Curry or Kevin Durant.
Well, I mean, it just, to me, it just wouldn't make sense. It's just one thing or the other with me. Either going to keep this team and they play together and they go on, or if you're going to tell me you're going to infuse, these aren't people you infuse with that other talented team. Like, they have to jump over 2 other teams just to get to the talent you're thinking of.
Yeah.
So either you're going to let this team play, or you don't take none from this team. They just won't make it. None of them are good enough to make those teams that y'all talking about.
Yeah, I'm looking at this again. I'm stuck on the talent. This is like, instead of give me the dream team, and these are good players that I like, I grew up on. This is like KJ.
Yeah, don't be disrespectful.
Instead of Magic and Jordan, you're giving me KJ and Dumars. Good players, but they're not Magic and Jordan. Instead of David Robinson and Patrick Ewing, you give me Brad Daugherty in the middle. Like, it's just a C team, bro. I don't know other way to put it. It's just a C team. They're talented players. They're good players, but this is not the best that they could do.
Right, and to be fair, not even I guess my argument is that it's kind of part and parcel of what you're saying. It's not, if they win this, it's an audition. Maybe I should bring that back. If they win this, to me, it's a good story, and I think you should go with this team. But if you're talking about they win this and infuse it, no, like you have, like P said, like you have an A team and a B team, in which the B team will be playing to get infused with the A team. And this team isn't the B team. You know what I'm saying? Your all-NBA team, none of these scratch that surface. So it's like, either you're going to let them go because they went on this run and played, or you go and get 12 to 15 players in which you won't even think about any of these players in the team. You won't go towards this team. This will just be a good story for FIBA. I'm just on the lines of, I like this team and I would go with them. But if you're going to say, like, this is what you have to do and take this talent pool that you're dealing with, I can get you maybe 30 more talented players than these players right here. Meaning that I don't know if these players crack the top 30. And that's a good thing for the league.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is not an audition for these guys to make and infuse into this into that squad, because Jaylen Brown is a better player than any of these players right here, right?
Yes.
He might have an issue making the Olympic team. I mean, do you have Jaylen Brown as a top 15 player? I mean, you might.
He's French.
Because I think top 15 U.S. player. Because I think that takes a lot of people out of his way when you're just talking
Yeah.
about U.S. players. You know,
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. He's probably not. Yeah, I don't think he's a top 15 NBA player, but he might be top 15 USA NBA player. Yeah,
I don't know.
he's on the fringe. He's with Trey Young somewhere.
hey guys, hit us up on social media. Let us know what you guys think. What do you think about the U.S. Basketball team that's going to FIBA World Cup? Do you like the roster? Do you think this roster can make it to the Olympics? Should they allow this roster to go to the Olympics? Hit us up on social media. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that like and notification button when you stop by so you know when the next video is coming out. Don't forget to subscribe where you get your podcast. And don't forget, you can hit us up directly at weneedafifth@gmail.com. Fellas, piggyback off of what we're talking about with the World Cup roster, wanted to ask, how should we look at international play when it comes to rating or looking at the all-time great players? Should it be weighted at, as hefty as winning a championship, to P's earlier point before, in the sense that, hey, the demarcation line between good and greatness is often a championship in most people's mind. Should we look at international play in the same context? Should it be given the same weight as winning an NBA championship or a college championship?
I do. To me, basketball is basketball. You know what I mean? In our previous episode, we were talking how, Dr. J, NBA, ABA. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like how, if you combine his ABA, NBA career, he's much higher as a basketball player. So I feel the Olympics, yeah, it counts. Like, it's not like these basketball players are playing a whole different sport. They're playing basketball. So it counts. So yes, I'm taking points away from Tim Duncan, Allen Iverson, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade for that 04 debacle. It happened while they were playing basketball. So, you know what I mean? So to me, it matters. Now, that some people might say, oh, it's not the NBA, but again, they were playing basketball.
And I want y'all to correct me if I'm wrong, and I might be wrong. Wasn't David Robinson and Danny Manning on the last
88.
college team to lose in the Olympics?
Yeah.
Right?
Dan Marley can't hide. He was there too.
Okay. All right. So you're saying these are definitely strikes against your resume if you can't bring home the gold
Yes.
as an all-time great.
Yes.
So LeBron James, arguably one of the greatest players of all time, who has the current NBA scoring record,
yes,
has a great big asterisk on his resume, or black mark on his resume, as far as you're concerned.
Yes, it's right up there for 2011.
Oh,
yes.
Hill, where you at with it? Is this a resume killer if you can't perform in international play?
Nah, I mean, yeah, I think I've been on that side. You know what I'm saying? That goes hand in hand with LeBron James for me, and I don't want to turn this into a LeBron James bashing ceremony, but yeah, 2011, sure, maybe more. I mean, I'm on a line of he's all right. He's a rookie, right? But in what P is saying, like, this is what they do. This is basketball. They've been doing this since 12, 13. I mean, so Is he better than any international player at that time when he was a rookie? Yes. Yes. And to be fair, if a rookie him with Tim Duncan on that team, or a rookie him with Allen Iverson on that team, should have been enough to take you to a championship.
Yeah, and I feel like you can't have it both ways. Like I know he was a rookie, he was young, but if he had won, it would have counted, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if he lost, it should count also. Like, you know what I mean? If Magic Johnson lost in that finals when he was a rookie, it would have counted. But we tout him because, oh, he was a rookie and he led his team to a championship. It all counts.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I don't know, maybe some people pick and choose. To me, when you're on the court, the results count. I don't care if it's the Olympics, the NBA. Yeah. And I don't want to make it seem like once you lose, you're just damned into oblivion. Because to LeBron's credit, he came back and did win a gold medal. To David Robinson's credit, he did come back and win a gold medal. You know what I mean? So I got to salute that and recognize that also.
Let me ask you guys: does this black mark on their resume preclude them from all-time talk? And what I mean by that, let's say Tim Duncan or Tim Duncan and Allen Iverson, all the players. Does this exclude them from, in Tim Duncan's case, hey, all-time great power forwards of all, from that conversation?
No, because I feel like sometimes your victories can outweigh your losses. And I think that's in Tim Duncan's case. Like he has 5 NBA championships.
Mhm.
So 2004, in my mind, doesn't eliminate that. It, like I said, it all counts.
Yeah, I think if you personally ask them, it's something that they would severely try to take back on their career. I think all of them.
Yeah.
That's just a mark. Like they know that they were better than that, and that shouldn't have been a result. You know what I mean? So we have to take it as such. I mean, I would. It just sticks out to me as something that just should not have happened with that accumulation of talent.
Right. And I don't think Tim and AI came back. I think they're 0-1
No.
career.
Yeah. I think so. I believe so. Wow. There's no Giannis, no Joker in this World Cup. Does that, if they were playing, Pete, would that change your mind on the weight of this team possibly winning the World Cup? Like, hey, as far as allowing them to, like he'll say, stand pat and go to the Olympics, would that change your mind if, hey, they had to go through the gauntlet of Giannis and Joker? I don't believe Luka's going to be playing, if I'm correct. To your point, Wiggins won't be playing for Canada during the World Cup. Would that have changed your mind if more high-profile international players were playing for their team during this competition?
Yeah. I mean, to an extent, obviously, if you beat Greece with Giannis, or you beat Slovenia with Doncic, then without, you get a little. I would give them a little bit more credit. Not that they need it from me in a way, but
Yeah.
I'm sure they really care. But but yeah, to be honest, the full disclosure, I said at the beginning of this, I would take the field. When I looked at the team and the rosters, I'll take the field over the USA.
Mhm.
But
And
obviously,
he still does.
Do you still
Yeah,
feel like that after seeing them play Puerto Rico?
oh, seeing them play has nothing to do with it. The only what give me trepidation is Giannis and Doncic not playing. I know what this USA team is. I've seen them. I know what that is. But now, obviously, the road is a little bit easier with Doncic and Giannis not out there.
Hill, does this change anything for you? The fact that a lot of these high-profile international players are not playing
Uh,
during this tournament, and that should your team win, they will have gone through a pretty easy path to a victory. Especially with
that's who you play. I've never fought that. I mean, the ball is put out there. If they're not out there, they're playing who they're playing. That's easier or not. They still have to play the games.
one of the last questions I want to ask about the FIBA World Cup, and I think this is probably an obvious answer for Hill. Who you got for the World Cup, U.S. or the field?
Yeah, it was obvious. More, I have U.S.
Okay. P, who you got?
Got the field.
And P, I think I'm gonna agree with you. I think I got the feel for this one too.
Okay.
I just don't know it. I think we might be reading a little too much into the Puerto Rico match, and I just need to see a few more games from this team for me to be totally convinced. I'm concerned that they may be too small. Yeah, and that they lack a legitimate hands down closer, that can dominate the end of the game.
Well, you should pick
But
that case, because if they're gonna need a closer, then the game's close.
yeah, I
Go with
think that's what's going to happen. Though I don't think they're going to get blowouts like they did with Puerto Rico.
I,
Uh,
I don't know how you would figure that they wouldn't.
I think there's going to be more talented teams than Puerto Rico, and I think teams that are force them to get into half court sets, teams that are slow them down. Um, I think it's going to be a
There's no
challenge.
one in the talent pool that matches them except for Canada. So I don't see anything until they go. If you're gonna tell me that Canada might be the reason why you take the field, I get it. But this whole S at the end of teams, no. I mean, you're gonna give me the Philippines with Jordan Clarkson, and he's the only standout person that they have there. So no. This should not be. I think judging them with previous teams is skewing how you're seeing the squad. But this is a good team. It's a good team, and it shouldn't be close. I mean, to be fair, that it should be at least a 14-point win, even against Canada.
And you think this team can actually win in the Olympics, win the gold in the Olympics?
I would want this team to go to the Olympics, not about winning in the gold. I think that's more of a, you know what? Actually, I'll put it out there. I'll put out there, yes.
So you think that's within their, they can do that, capture the gold at the Olympics?
Absolutely. These are good. I think you need good NBA players to win the gold medal. And this is what you got. You have good and a few players to me that are very good.
Okay. P, do you think this roster, as constituted, can win in the Olympics?
Oh yeah, they
Not
can.
the World Cup, the Olympics.
They can, because I don't know if it's that big of a difference. I'm not sure if any of the teams are really going to be upgraded from now into the Olympics. Like Greece is still going to have Giannis, Slovenia is going to have Doncic. I mean, maybe France. I don't know. I don't know Wemby's status, and maybe with Wiggins plays with Canada. But besides Canada and France, I don't see the teams upgrading from a year from now.
In France, it possibly Embiid as well.
Okay, that's obviously that's a big difference. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I don't have a win in this, so of course, I don't have a win in the Olympics either. No.
Right.
Even if everything stays the same, I don't have a win in now.
Okay. Hey guys, hit us up on social media. Let us know what you guys think. Do you think this U.S. basketball team could win the Olympics as currently constructed, or do you agree with me and P that they may need a few tweaks or a full rehaul in order to achieve Olympic gold?
Full
Hit us
rehaul.
up on social media.
Weeks.
Facebook, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that like and notification button so you know when the next video is coming through. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. You can hit us up directly at weneedafifth@gmail.com.
New Zealand and Jordan really scares me.
Ooh,
What happened?
New Zealand and Jordan really scares me.
the deep pool of talent in New Zealand, Iran.
Jordan, Greece, they really scare me.
Wow.
That field pick is rough, bro. They maul Canada. That's gonna be it's a lie. Hey, ain't want to be eating crow. This is just a walkthrough. A walkthrough. Jordan, Greece, New Zealand. Yeah, good luck. Good luck. You guys want to name me who's the best player on Jordan?
Oh, I didn't know they were. I didn't know they qualified.
Yeah, they did.
No, I believe you. I just.
Yeah,
I didn't. I'm not even sure if they had a national basketball team. I didn't know.
Uruguay. I'm gonna go Brazil. You know a little bit. You want to go with the Blur? Is the Blur playing again? I know he's coaching up there in Sacramento. You bring the Blur out. He'll get smoked too if he came back out too. To be fair.
Can we talk about coaching a little bit now that you bring that up?
Sure. Who's the coach for Brazil? Let me know. Hank Eibler.
No, I'm trying to talk about coaching for the 04 team. I'm trying to find a little redemption for this 04 team. We do realize Larry Brown was coaching that team, right? And he was the only coach to come up short with a dream team squad. You realize that, right?
Other coaches lost. He just didn't get the gold. I believe Pop got a couple of L's. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Can't hide these dudes from me, man. I'm on
I
this.
tried. I'm sorry. I tried.
To me, it seems like races pretty much are one if you have the horses. I mean, that triangle really looks good with Jordan and Kobe.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
I'm not the big, we need coaching thing. That's not me. But he was in the right situation. He took advantage of it. You know what I mean? Like, what's the guy? Del Harris had Shaq and Kobe too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if you. I don't know. True. I mean, I don't know if you would have had Del Harris that long. If you had him a little longer, they would have found a way to figure it out either.
Possibly. Just going with the results, right? Doug Collins.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Doug Collins had Jordan and Pippen. How'd that work out?
I think if he gave him a little more time, we don't want to know they might have had a chip, but he didn't.
We'll never know. We'll never know. But what we do know is that Phil three-peated with both of these guys.
Absolutely. But what we do know is that Phil in New York, outside of those guys,
that is true.
Was a disaster.
And to your, horse, races are won by the horses. There you go. There you go. I'm not debating that.
Tyronn Lue is going to go down as a really good coach. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if there's anything special about Tyronn Lue personally. He seemed as a really good coach. And he has, to me, has a chance to become a very good coach. But they have him probably now as probably top 5 coaches in the league.
And we saw the same thing with Doc Rivers, right? What was that, 2008?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just, I think these players, LeBron was already knocking at a door to go through. It just so happened Tyronn Lue was the beneficiary of that situation. And I think that's more so not than great coaching. You know what I mean? I think we saw what Michael Jordan was going to become. And I don't want to take anything away from Phil Jackson and these coaches who now we seem as great, but these players aren't that far. We saw what Kobe Bryant could be. I mean, you got scared a little bit with those 3 consecutive air balls, sure.
Del Harris.
But you thought him and Shaq they should be somewhere near the door, and some coach would be able to, turn the
Put
knob
him
on.
in position and be successful.
Yeah, yeah. For that,
I
I don't think
totally
Phil
agree
is
with you.
stupid. I think Phil is just smarter than a lot of coaches. He just sees the talent and says, "You guys are dumb not to benefit on what you have in front of you." I think he picks his poisons very well.
Fellas, what's on the radar?
I would say the 26 and proving you guys more and more wrong when they have their next game, FIBA. I guess when they're playing that powerhouse of New Zealand, it should be a close one. Hopefully they'll find someone in which they'll need to get a bucket from. And hopefully Ingram and Edwards steps up. By 45, that game should be by 45.
P, what's on the radar for you, man?
Oh man, yeah, the hip hop, was it 50 years of hip hop? It seems like there's like 100 different media outlets that's
Anniversary?
celebrating it. Yeah, it's like But I will say the one on Mass Appeal done at Yankee Stadium last night is done very well. I enjoyed it. Some highlights: Run DMC, Nas, Cam, Wu-Tang. They all did their thing. So that's on my radar.
The way they were able to pull it together, P, just
Yeah.
just feedback off you.
Yeah.
A lot of things past my bedtime, so I'm starting to, to go to sleep a little bit earlier. So therefore, to me, at one point, it felt a little drawn out. But that's on me only, because I think he did it the way in which you should have done it, and that was an homage to the old school in the beginning. So people were really concerned about the crowds, and I said, nah, this thing is going to be jam-packed. And it just showed, like, you had, my parents looking at the older, the earlier part.
Right.
And I was in there waiting for, like, when they were going to fit other accents. So I stayed out through the whole entire thing. So I was a little drained from it, but it just fit different demographics into it. And they found a way to put A Boogie in there to get some of the young kids, and then, Scarlet, so they fit a little bit to show you where rap is actually at right now. But I thought they hats off. Nah, they did an excellent job, everyone who put it together.
Yes. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yes, could they had a little bit more? Sure.
Yeah, there's always some omissions in there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But you might have had people who would just say, I get it, I'm busy. You have that. Had some standouts from there. It would have been nice to see Hove. I ain't gonna lie.
Yes, salute to. I know 50 Cent has his tour. I know Busta Rhymes is on that one with him. LL got the Rock the Bells. I think Brand Nubians, Rakim McCain is on that
Brand
one.
New Orchard Beach. And Brad has, I think, too. That I was looking for Brad, man. I was looking for the, Scarface.
Yeah. Mind Playing Tricks on Me, classic. One of the greatest lyricists, I would say, to be honest. But it was well done. It was well done. At the end of the day, I just hope everybody profits from this, man. All the rappers who lay down the foundation, all the people who contribute to the culture. I hope they profit from this celebration of hip hop.
And Have got a shout out too, which was good.
Clark Kent. Shout out to Clark Kent. Well done.
Yes, sir. What's on my radar? I think I'm going to catch up on what you guys just talked about. The World Cup, U.S. next game versus New Zealand, the powerhouse. Also want to catch up on the hip hop 50 year anniversary. Want to catch up on that a little bit. Yeah, and WNBA postseason is coming up soon. I think by the end of this month, we're going to be heading into the postseason.
We don't know. We don't know.
Is it now, the postseason now, or is it?
No. What you call it? It's the end of the season just coming up, because I know they played 36 games, so they're about there now. So we'll see. Aces, Liberty, monster matchup. That's the predicted championship. Hopefully that's the way it works out. So looking forward to that. Also paying attention to Lionel Messi in MLS. He scored in every game that he's played. He
Was he
has.
60?
Huh?
How old is Messi? Like 60?
Yeah, hold on. I gotta ask a question. I am a soccer novice at best.
Casual.
Now, I wouldn't even say casual. You're giving me too
I don't
much
watch
credit.
it, put it that way. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Is this? It just feels like to me, he's past his. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's past his prime, but the MLS is so far behind. He's the best player like in MLS, although he's clearly fallen
Pretty
off.
much.
Okay.
And that's what I was. We were talking earlier in the chat about this. When like some people ask, "Hey, what does it take for him to win in MLS?" I was saying he won as soon as he came to MLS, because players like him and David Beckham, and even going back further to Pele, they're coming to MLS to kind of change the paradigm, to try to increase the popularity of soccer, and try to increase the popularity of the league itself.
Yeah.
And as far as Messi winning, he's already won. Miami tickets went from $40 to $100 to $400 to $500.
No, I get I get that. That's what they did with Beck. I get that, but he shouldn't be the best player though. That's what I'm saying. I get the popularity.
No, yeah, I mean the talent pool is totally different. It's like
it sucks. It sounds like
it
sounds like it sucks.
I mean, yeah, for lack of a better, because anybody worth their salt that can really play soccer, they're not playing in the U.S. for money.
Okay.
Europe and Saudi Arabia will offer you a hell of a lot more money and offer better competition when it comes to soccer. Okay. Right now, U.S. soccer leagues in general are like D3 schools at this point. They're
not worth the watch.
Hard.
Yeah,
it's hard to. If you're a soccer fan, they're the last league you're gonna look for.
Yeah,
unless you're in America and this is the league you have the best access to.
You got Jay-Z to do the Doe Center.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's the vibe I'm getting. That's the vibe I'm getting. Yeah.
Also, what I take from before we go out, this shows what 20 years or 25 years was wasted on that East Coast, West Coast beef. You see how much these guys really love
hip-hop. Oh my God. Snoop. I just gotta give a shout out to Snoop. Like Snoop. His game bring people out. EPMD, Slick Rick. It's like he was looking at a 13-year-old Snoop Dogg out there. He was like so happy.
Snoop tried to tell us that in his first album.
Yeah.
Like it just showed how much nonsense that East Coast, West Coast beef took away from hip hop. You know what I mean? They lost 25 years of what this should have been as an annual thing. And be careful when you hear something like "See You Next Year" with Nas. I went down that road with that guy before.
Yeah, I was there.
So
I was there.
You don't see another concert in Yankee Stadium for another 25 years. Don't be surprised. Just be careful.
Guy
gets caught up in a moment.
Yo, we love Nas, man, but yeah, that's a running joke, man. See you next year.
Central Park.
Haven't seen him since. I was like, what, 10, 15 years ago. shout out to Nas, man. Big fan. Love what he's doing, man. Big fan. But we just joking, man. We love Nas, but that was hilarious. See you guys next year. Haven't seen the brother since.
Yeah, that's what I took from that, though. That's a good point, Pete. Like that 50th. But I was thinking to myself, I said, Snoop loves hip hop. Cube loves hip hop. Dub C, it's just New York stand up. It was such.
Yeah. It was just all around. Like you got the feeling. Obviously, he knows them, but it was almost like Nas wanted to get an autograph from Fuji Rap. Fat Joe wanted to get an autograph from KRS-One when they brought him out. You know what I mean? I'm bringing you out, but it's like, I loved how they was paying homage. I loved it.
Hey, that's another one in the book, fellas.
Yeah.
To all our fifths, stay safe and see you next time.
Peace.
Peace. Just 3 old men ranting. That's all.
Old man ranting. Old man ranting, bro.
I love it. I love it.